I think it was. Okay, can't read without them. Can't read without them. I can't see with them.
The surprise, and he, I didn't get it. Again, it'll go.
Never ending, isn't it?
One
Keeps us
more.
going, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I was trying hard. You were trying hard.
I just, it's like wall, head.
Yeah, for sure.
This is not skin.
Very much so. All right.
Okay, board, if we could start, we're going to start with Bill Rodriguez.
Testing 1, 2.
Loud and clear, thank you. Bill Kohler.
Testing 1, 2.
Thank you. Dan?
Testing 1, 2.
Jeff?
Good morning. Testing 1, 2.
John?
Good morning. Hello, testing.
And Steve?
Summer Glen.
Thank you all loud and clear. Kevin, if we could have you test.
Test.
And Marie.
Good morning.
I just one, just George. That's a good thing.
No,
At least
that or they just are not talking.
I look at it like it very good. Otherwise, they'd be. Pretty good. Thank you for buying from the tavern, the pro shop. Yeah.
Now we know who has all the money on the board.
Oh, Carol too.
No, one more now. She just saw.
Okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Very good. Okay, for anybody that is planning to speak at the meeting, the mic is on. It's live. Please don't hit it. Please don't blow into it. Just make sure you're close enough to the mic that you should be hearing yourself coming through the speakers. If you can't hear yourself, nobody else can either. So thank you very much for coming and enjoy the meeting.
All right. Thank you, Carol. With that, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Determination of a quorum.
Good morning, board and Summer Glen. Yes, we do have a quorum with all 7 board members present, and the meeting was noticed in accordance of Florida Statute 720 and the Summer Glen governing documents.
Thank you. For resident input, we have 2 speakers that have signed up, so we'll start off with George Englert.
George Englert, Lot 546. I'm just here to support and represent the Summerlin Softball Association, but support any board discussions on CRF 2026 0004 regarding the replacement of the benches at the softball field. Thank you.
Thank you. And, oh,
Wait, there's more.
I do have additional shipping information I discussed before the meeting with Jeff, and we can discuss that when we get to that point.
okay, thank you. And Carol Steck.
Carol Steck, Lot 1006, regarding the fashion show and the hiring of Cook Together. I'm just, as a resident, I am opposed to the idea of the board, as the HOA, hiring a club to cater the lunch. I just think it opens up a whole can of worms. I can remember when we had something called the Gourmet Club, and then there was an additional offshoot a couple years later with Cook Together. So you start hiring clubs, how are you then going to start deciding which club? I think it's a different matter than, I know Dan has raised the concern, well, yeah, but wait a minute, what about veterans? The veterans are holding an event. The veterans sell the tickets. The money goes directly to the veterans. If the veterans wanted to hire Cook Together, you know, to cook something, or the ladies' golf league. But in this case, it is the HOA. And I just think it's a bad idea. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up, management update.
Good morning, everybody. Well, I was sure hoping to be able to come to this meeting and say everything with the patio is done, because I know I'm a broken record, but it's still ongoing. We think we're trying to push this over the finish line. We met yesterday with electricians, the general contractor, our favorite inspector. We're almost there. One little minor nitpicky thing. We understand she's going to be hopefully coming back today. I'm trying to get an update. She just has to look at one more thing, and once that's done, then hopefully they can finish up their paperwork. But then after that, the liquor licensing authority, once they see Marion County is signed off, then they can do their sign off. So even though once we get this approval, there's still going to be a little bit of a small delay until the patio gets open, because they're going to need time to make sure, once we have the complete green light, that they've got staffing in order and we're ready to roll. So thank you again for your patience, and we'll just keep you updated. But on a lighter note, on something that is working, the mirror ball actually is working. We did a little bit of exploratory investigation, and Tony looked around, saw that there was something disconnected, hooked it up, fired it up, works great. So you've got it for the future. Thanks.
All right, thank you. As Kevin had mentioned in the patios, so the first hurdle we have to clear is the building safety inspection with the work that was done in the server area. And as Kevin mentioned, once that's done, then they can apply for the amended liquor license, which extends being able to serve alcohol out on the patio. So that's a separate Florida agency that has to go through. So even though Marion County has signed off, the state still has to sign off with the liquor license amendment. So again, this is the big obstacle that's been holding us up. Looks like we're finally at the end of that and going to have final approval that all work done in the restaurant is to code, and then we can move forward. So got our fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll clear the last hurdle, or the major hurdle today, and be able to move on with them being able to file the amended liquor permit. Any questions for Kevin? Okay, I have no other updates from the president's side. So committee liaison reports. We'll start with you, Steve.
Okay, I think I'm on now. Well, yeah, the present financial situation of our community is really strong at the moment. The present cash flow that we have on hand will cover about 1.6 months of liability. And I've got a lot of things I'm looking through that were delivered to me from Tom, but I'm working with FSR to better understand the bank reconciliations, and mostly regarding to our investment accounts. It seems like everything else is fine, but I'm sure it's all good. It's just that I've got a couple of questions, and I think some other folks have as well. So working on that. Had my first meeting as the treasurer with the finance committee on Tuesday, and all 5 members were there, and they're doing a great job with covering all the call centers and the accounts. So hats off to those guys. They're really doing a good job. They'll be sending in a recommendation later this week. I believe it's going to be the plan for adding 1 person to the committee, and that would bring it back to this count of 6 that we've been running with for quite a long time. Let's see. For myself, just a note, I did complete my HOA director workshop with the law firm, so that should be posted on the website. And much like Tom did, if anyone has any comments or questions or information they need that I can help them with, you can drop a note into my cubby at 626. That's it.
Thank you. Russ?
So the facilities and grounds was working on a number of projects. I guess at this point I'm just going to defer since 4 of them are on our agenda, and those are the ones that are at the forefront of what we have going on right now.
Okay. John?
John, Health and Safety had an excellent lunch and learn last month, Champion Your Health, put on by Florida Health. It was well attended and quite a bit of good information. So maybe if you see that coming up again in a year from now, I would suggest you attend. I attended Summer Dreams yesterday, and I want to say Summer Dreams is ready to move forward. We've had great volunteers step up. You might have seen the ad. We need an editor. We had Fred and Angelo Waltz step up to the plate. They said that they would help out for at least 6 months. They should have been in this agenda, but for an appointment to this committee, so it got lost in the mail. But hopefully next month we'll officially appoint them. But meanwhile, they're working, and Summer Dreams feels that they're in better shape than they were a week ago. So that's about all there is. July issue will be on time and on schedule.
Great, thank you. Bill?
Design Review Board, in the month of June, reviewed 194 applications. It's to be pointed out because a lot of these applications don't go through or can't be considered because they don't have the proper documentation. Any application not signed without required documentation, such as plot plan, photos, etc., will be returned to the resident. Please allow ample time for DRB review. DRB meets only twice a month on the 2nd and 4th Thursday of the month. Notification to the contractor should be made after you receive approval. Any project started without required approval will be subject to an application fee. Once your project is completed, you also have to turn in a project completion form. It is required. The social committee met earlier this month and reviewed their events for next year and elected people to head those events. On a very positive note, they've already hit the ceiling on tickets for the 4th of July. They've already, they actually exceeded their ceiling. So that's all I got.
Concerning the residents and understanding the DRB rules, as part of the new resident orientation, does that get covered as part of that orientation?
Yes. Now, The new resident orientation is quite a large packet, if you can imagine. We have regular, HOA rules, and then we have the DRB rules, then we have everything about trash, and you name it, it just goes on and on and on. ISN, how to get your this, that, and the other. So we put it all together, we go over it when they're there that first day, and then let them know that all the information is there, and if they need us, to give us a call. So it is covered, whether folks go back and look at it again. I can't promise that.
Okay, thank you. Bill?
The golf course is now in full transition. All vestiges of the prior season's overseed are gone. The fairways are doing okay. The greens are extremely slow to recover from the recent aeration, and I think what we're going to end up probably finding is that the greens should not be overseeded this coming season, because overseeding does stress the grass, and when those greens come back and they're regular, they should be fine over the winter without any overseed. So, but that should be decided here very shortly once Cypress gets a really good look of what they look like when they do eventually recover from the issues they're having now. The outside play continues strong, seasonally adjusted, of course. There aren't as many people here as there were over the winter time, but there seems to be a core number of visiting groups that continue to come here and play the golf course.
Okay, thank you. Next up, a reading and approval of previous meeting minutes. So in our packet, we have the meeting minutes from the May 14th board meeting. Anybody want to make a motion on
I'll
that?
make a motion we approve the minutes as written.
And I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? No? So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Our meeting minutes are approved. Next up, old business, the Summer Dreams Committee Charter is in our packet. Does anyone want to make a motion to untable this item?
I'll make a motion to untable this item and approve it as written.
Second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
I don't think there's a lot of
No, it's pretty basic, just very minor word changing.
couple word changes.
But, it's in our packet. So no other discussion on it? No. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you for cleaning up that old business. Okay, next up on new business. We have in our packet, it was discussed at the board workshop, the covenant and rule enforcement policy. We had a chance to review it at the workshop. We've then forwarded on to legal, and they've made some adjustments to it, and the final revision is in our packet now. Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move that we accept the new version of the covenant and rule enforcement policy.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
None for me.
Nothing for me.
Not from me.
No? Okay, so this, let's have a vote then. All those in favor of approving the policy as written in our packet, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously. So now that we have an official policy that's been modified and make sure we're in compliance with 720, we had the last year's board asked for volunteers, and we did get some volunteers to serve on that covenant enforcement committee. I understand we've had some resignations, so probably need to put out a notice again, and first reach out to the people that haven't submitted their resignation, make sure they want to continue on, so we know how many openings we actually have, and then get a notice out in the email blast asking for volunteers to serve on that committee. Anything else on that topic? No? Okay, I'll move on to, next up is review of the easement request from Marion County. Let me flip to my packet here. Okay, so with the construction of the high school, they had to make a sewer line connection that was down at the end of 14th Avenue Road where the big curve is there in the DRA. And they went ahead and ran a new sewer line that connects into the lift station that's over there. But it was installed just outside the existing easement. So there's a 10-foot easement that comes from the back fence out towards 14th Avenue Road. The sewer line actually got laid just outside of that easement. So this request is to extend that utility easement by approximately 10 feet. So the work's already been done. The county is not approving the contractor's work until they get authorization that they were indeed allowing them to extend that easement. So it's in our packet. The drawing is in there showing where the new easement would be in relation to the properties that are down around that corner. So anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move that the President be authorized to execute the grant of general utility easement as it appears here.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
I think it's a good idea since it's been all repaired and the grass grew back and there's no need to dig it all up again.
Yeah, just to move it over 5 feet or whatever.
Right.
And it helps build a little bit of goodwill with the county, and
We'll see.
hopefully,
We'll see about that. Jeff.
hopefully we can get the goat path closed off.
That would be a goal.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously. We'll get that signed and sent back to the county. Next up is roadway emulsion treatment. So Russ, you want to walk us through that?
Yes, so I put together 6 line items in here that kind of outline the different areas that need to be either repaired or need PDC treatment. We'll start the handicap post and signage. And Jeff, I think you were on an email with me. So we have some signage out here and some handicap marked areas. But the way I understand what Connie told us is we don't, because we're a private community, we don't necessarily have to follow what the public or the county signage is. So that line item is kind of an optional line item to us. I
But
mean,
she
in
also
a
said
way,
it's
but
highly recommended. We
it's
may
highly
be able to,
recommended, but as long, and the other part of that is as long as we're doing all this work already out here, we might as well put the signage in. It's such a small part of the overall part of the project, right? So that's just the communication to the board on that. There are 5 areas that need repair that I've outlined here. And this was something that 2 of them we actually had approved in 2025, when they were never completed. The PDC treatment for what we call phase 2, which is related to the PDC part of it, and that's everything to the north and the west of the 154th. They're going to look at doing that in 8 mobilizations for the $127,000. We're going to look at doing the RV park as well, the softball lot, and the road that goes to the west of the RV park, okay? And then also the newspaper lot. These areas where the softball and the RV have never been done. So, this is a much less costly approach to doing this. We've had good luck with this PDC treatment in the past. We have done different parts of the community with good success, and it extends the life of the asphalt greatly. So, any questions?
Yes. Question.
well, let's make a motion first.
Right.
So I'd like to make a motion. I didn't total this.
I did.
Yeah, it's 178,770.
Yeah, it's pushing 180.
If I might, I should have
Yep.
made a question. If you look at page 37, one of these reminders that we do in fact live in Marion County, there's an item there, permit fees,
Yes.
that they're $14.95 each, and I'm not sure how many you have to have. We should provide the approval for enough
Yeah.
money to cover whatever permit.
You know, it looks
fees
like potentially it might be up to 5 permits. I noticed the same thing. So the 5 permits at $14.95 each would be approximately another $7,500.
So we should put a little bit of cushion in the approval to handle what that might ultimately be, and where we live, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and then on page 38, further down towards the bottom of page 38, it says a disposal fee. There will be a charge of $47.50 per ton to dispose of used materials in an environmentally compliant waste facility. So anything that they dig up when they're doing any of these repairs, the waste material is going to have to be hauled off. So there might be an additional amount to have that hauled off. So that's at $47.50 a ton, and I have no idea how to estimate how many tons we need. It's not going to be a big dollar amount, but probably ought to add a little bit.
Yeah, seems like maybe a total of maybe 15,000 just on the up to, just to cover those kinds of things
Yeah.
without, yeah.
So we're looking 190.
Hopefully neither of them will be substantial, but you never know.
195,000.
Yeah, that should be plenty.
Okay, well, I'd like to make a motion that we move forward with these repairs and PDC treatments not to exceed $195,000 to be done this summer.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion?
Yeah, the question.
Yes, go ahead.
How do we pay for this, Steve? Because I looked in reserves this morning. I thought we had about 143 for asphalt treatment this year.
That's correct.
What did we not
So-
spend last year?
Yeah.
Does that roll over, Steve?
I don't.
Yeah, so
It would have been several years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I looked at, and we don't have the final, we have the draft version for the 2025 reserve study.
Correct.
So I looked at that as far as what's proposed, and for the Phase 2, it's 142,000, which would be in the new reserve study, and then another 35 for the RV lot and softball lot. So that's, between those two, that's 177 is what would, going to end up being in the new reserve.
Okay.
Okay, so we cover it between the two, obviously.
Yeah. Well, it's, yeah.
Oh, we're still off by
Well,
20.
but it's, again, it's a pooled reserve, so,
Yeah, you don't
I
have to
understand
recover.
that.
yeah. So what's covered already in, well, for the new reserve study, it's 177,000 is what's already.
This, I recognize this is a big swing, but these are areas, again, that we haven't treated, that need retreatment, and the cost of asphalt replacement is,
Yeah,
Only
and
going to go up.
Yeah.
because the golf maintenance building, parking lot and driveway has never been done.
Yeah.
It's deteriorated to the point where they're not even recommending doing the PDC treatment. They're
Correct.
recommending we go immediately to the mill and overlay, which is not part of this proposal. But if you let things go, it's pay me now or pay me later. It's gonna be a lot more expensive if you wait till later.
Bill's got a question.
Yeah, just to repeat an given comment, the concept of the pool reserves, the line items in there in and of themselves are not an appropriation. The only existence of the line items in the reserves is to provide a best running estimate to calculate the required amount of funding reserves on an annual basis. And any one of them could be significantly higher, significantly lower, could come earlier, could come later.
Right.
But there's 100 of them in there, and the concept of the pool says all we're trying to do is to group them all with the best information readily available to set the amount of the annual assessment that's needed to fund the bottom line of the reserves as they require it. So you really can't look at an item as to whether the amount in the reserves is equal to or less than what's being funded. The criteria is if it's an item that's reservable, then it's paid for out of reserves, and if it's high, the answer is, you subsequently add additional funding to the reserve assessment every year. But because if something's either higher or lower, that is really nothing to do with whether you approve the project or not. The approval is whether it's an appropriate project, and
Right.
the funding is a matter of an algorithm to set your assessment.
But, well, I shouldn't say but. So as part of the motion, then, we probably need to add the fact that it will be paid from reserves.
Yes.
That's the
100%. Right. And the one question I have, Russ, is this company prepared to do this summer? I mean, it's kind of short notice.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I mean,
she's,
they're-
yep, I reached out to her and they're ready.
penciled in.
Yeah, they're penciled in.
Okay. The one thing I did notice under the repairs, you had 5 items listed, Russ. In their
Yes.
quote, the $59.95 actually only covers 4 of the 5.
Yeah,
You
I got
added-
the tree in there too.
You added the tree.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
tree removal. So in their notes, they say, we did not provide a proposal for tree root transformation into the parking stalls. We don't really know what we're looking at until the tree is removed. They're guesstimating 10 inches worth of base and 2 inches of asphalt would be required to do the job properly. And they're estimating about $7,000 all-in cost to do that if we take the tree out.
But that's
So
a
it-
separate-
So I would suggest that be a separate project.
That's a separate project, and again, if we can piggyback it when they're doing the other repairs, obviously, we can,
I think that $59.95 is provided for in the proposal to take the tree out itself. That comes up here.
It is, but it's incorrect. Because if you're going to include it in the tree proposal, it's actually $7,000.
Okay.
Not the $59.95. So the $59.95 covers the other 4 items that's on Russ's worksheet.
But the 195,000 should cover everything.
What's that?
The 195,000 should cover everything.
Yes. The question is, if we decide to take the tree out, do we put that as part of the reserves, or does that become part of the just maintenance cost and removing the tree and repairing the parking lot?
I think that's been looked at separately, and it'd be tree removal account, and then maintenance and repair.
Okay, so not a reserve item.
It's gonna fall separately. The finance.
So that 7,000 wouldn't come out of the 195
That
number.
makes sense.
That's coming up in the agenda anyway, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
The only other thing, Russ, I noticed was in the newspaper lot, maybe I'm just reading it wrong, it says prices combined with the RV lot. So is that adds to the RV lot, or was this
So-
5,000 already in the RV lot?
no, it's a separate line item.
Okay.
And, if we start pulling stuff out.
No,
then-
I wasn't gonna
yeah.
pull anything
Yeah,
out. I was just trying.
Yeah, there were 2 prices
There's
there.
2
This is the
prices
lower
there.
price if you do it at the same time.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
By doing this all at the same time, they're giving us a pretty good discount.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, any other discussion?
I think the bigger question is gonna be logistics and getting everything out of the RV lot.
Yep.
Yes.
That's gonna be tricky, and I'm gonna have to we're gonna, we're trying to we gotta get this out to the community, so if people are planning to be gone,
We
we'll
kinda-
get a
Yeah, once we
schedule.
lock in the day, we can do a preliminary, in fact, I think there was already a
We
note that
did.
went in the
Yeah.
weekly, but
I
once we
already-
lock in the dates,
Yeah,
I sent this out in the weekly, and I only had like 3, I think it was 3 responses of people that are not able to move, and they would make a special trip here or whatever once they knew the date. If not, then we might have to tow or do something different, but either way, the response for not being able to do it was small. Maybe not everyone read it, we'll send it again. Once we know the date, I think we'll be able to get better answers.
and 2 other things, we are gonna allow people to move RVs out to the west in that field temporarily, and/or in your driveway for, we're gonna outline that for a couple days so that we can get that work done, okay? But we'll handle that, and we'll keep communication to the
Probably
community.
takes about a week for it to dry
Yeah.
and be painted and everything, I would assume.
I think maybe your biggest problem is people you did not hear back from that are just, you might consider doing a mailing to everybody who has a slot
Ooh.
that clearly tells them.
Yeah, that's a
and
good
what
idea.
the
We can even
ramifications are.
individually
All right, we'll
contact
do
them.
a mailing, also put out a laminated sign at the lot on both entrances so that
Yep.
maybe people can see it more. We'll do it in red, like, so that there's a heads up.
Yeah.
But once
We gotta
know
get the
what-
date locked
Yes,
in.
once you know the date, let me know, and we'll get that going.
And again, we need to make it clear that it is weather dependent. So even though we may lock in dates, if their weather isn't cooperating, we may have to adjust slightly. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Mr. President, with the next item, which is 11D, I do want to bring up that new information has come up that was not in the packet, and it looks like that particular vehicle for the utility vehicle replacement is no longer available. I just got a text from Tony that says that we're just going to have to, put it off to another date and get more info. Keep going.
Make a motion that we table this.
What vehicle's not available?
The Spartan Intimidator, the one that was presented at the workshop, there was an addition. So Dan's made a motion to table. Anybody?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
The only thing I would say is, and I don't know what the shape of the Toros are, we do have a recommendation from F&G just to go out and buy a Toro and replace one of them at this point in time. So I'm in favor of tabling, but again, how far do you want to kick this can down the road, Jeff? We might just have to bite the bullet and buy one Toro. And
If you could-
we've had good luck with the Toro.
If you could give us till the workshop, we can bring it back to the workshop, see if we have something new. The Intimidator had a Toro motor. That's why we were suggesting it. But if they don't have them available and this is something they're not making anymore, then obviously it's not an option. So now we have to find a new option.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we're running out of ideas, really.
Yeah. If the information comes available, we could always schedule a regular board meeting supplemental to the workshop meeting just to deal with this. If we have a couple of breakdowns and we're desperate to get it done, we always have that device available. with
Right.
48-hour notice.
Again, when you look at the reserve money that I guess Tracy put out here, that's a tough one to read, but we're way under budgeted for.
Yes, and that's one of the things we did,
Unfortunately.
as we were doing the 2025 reserve
upped
study,
it,
we
yeah.
did up that number
Right.
to 25,000 per vehicle instead of I think it was 14 or 17,000 was the old one. So we did up that number, but the Workman itself is, the quote we have is for almost $46,000 for
yeah.
a single unit.
Crazy.
For sake of trees and the amount of paper that's been put out on this, should we just say we can drop
Yes.
the John Deere? I mean, that's my suggestion.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
Some of this can be dropped because it's just way outside.
Yeah,
the scope.
everything needs to be condensed down to what we're going to be presenting. Hopefully, we'll have it available for the workshop, so we have one final discussion on it and be able to vote at the July meeting with what we're going to do to replace these maintenance vehicles. Because we are running on borrow time. I mean, at some point, they're going to crap out and not be available at all. So we need to get them replaced, at least one, if not two. Okay, so the motion's been made to table. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All those opposed say no. All right. So hopefully we can get this finalized and get it on the workshop at the end of the month. Next up is CRF 2026-0008 for removal of the oak tree behind the RSO.
I'll make a motion that we remove the oak tree behind the RSO by diversified tree. I believe it's $1,800.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
I was going to make a comment. I was walking by it last night, and the newer concrete that we put in at some point in time is already cracking from those roots. Those roots are out of control on that tree,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
we got to get it before it gets into the building.
Well, it's destroyed the parking lot.
Yeah, it's already destroying the
It's a
parking
tripping
lot.
hazard.
Yeah.
It's everything. And there's 2 others in this parking lot that are doing the same thing that we'll have to look at eventually. Yep.
Jeff?
Yes.
I have some concern about the quote for the tree removal. You know, we just got a classic diversified handwritten standard remove tree by the door. But if we look at the last paragraph on page 72 from the asphalt restoration site visit, please contact once the tree has been removed so we inspect the exposed base area before any paving begins. The long-term success of this repair depends on a thorough root removal and proper void filling. So I think their criteria is if the tree removal there just has to be a very, very good one, and all the vestiges of the roots removed and the base proper for them to asphalt. And I'm not sure that the diversified quote was not for just a typical tree removal job here that, you know, remove the tree and grind the stump and it's all over. But I think the requirement there, especially as big as that tree is and where it is and with the asphalt having going under it, might be a little more of a sophisticated job than what they actually bid on, so.
Yeah, I agree.
I would imagine those roots are beyond the sidewalk toward the building
Oh, and well into the parking lot.
and well into the parking lot. Yeah, it's a good point, Bill. So.
I think the timing of it is, the project should be approved, but with enough not to exceed to
Yeah, what was your original number,
anticipate a
John?
higher,
There was 1,800 on the bid.
Yeah, I know, but your total that you're proposing on your motion?
I did the 1,800 just to remove the tree. I did not go into the repair.
Oh, okay.
Well, the repairs are going to be a different line item, but should
Yeah,
we,
because
should we
once
increase
the
that-
tree is
should
proper.
we increase that not to exceed from
Not to exceed
1,800 to
2,000?
2,000, 2,100, something like that?
I think so.
Well, but then
because-
you have to, you know, we've already got the ballpark number from asphalt repair, or asphalt restoration. It's going to be another $7,000
Right.
to, once the tree is gone, to repair the parking lot. So right now, we're looking at 1,800 plus 7,000, so we're looking at $8,800 right now, and then potentially the diversified quote is going to have to be updated and potentially additional expense there. Because we can't just take the tree out and then not do something about the parking lot. So you got to do both pieces of it.
Well, you could. In theory, you could just leave it as
Well, just, yeah, backfill it with dirt.
backfill it, yeah. I mean, if you think you're out of money, you could, but.
Might not be a bad idea, just make it a natural area and let it settle on its own for some time and then go back. And I'm not sure.
Well, once-
It's got to
once-
be dug out.
Once you take the base of the roots out, the roots ain't gonna grow anymore
No, but
underneath
they're
the
going to
ground.
rot.
The rotting
They're gonna
may
rot.
be the issue.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, right now, do we really have a clue whether the 1,800, is it going to be 1,800? Is it going to be 3,000? Is it going to be 5,000?
So the requirement is usually to grind the stump, and that's what we always do. That's probably what he thought the requirement was, to grind the stump. Grinding the stump is not digging it all out and then backfilling. So that may be something that, you know, we may have to ask him to do. Normally, whenever you remove a tree, if you think about it, anywhere you do that, with time, you will get a settling of, and I think that's what the asphalt people are saying, is that you'll get a sunken area as the tree roots that are left behind do rot. So they can't guarantee what they put on there unless we pack that in there tight enough to prevent that settling. So there might be a good reason why maybe we should remove the tree and then pack it and then maybe just put some grass on it and then wait for it to see what happens and include it in our next paving project.
Should I amend the motion to not to exceed $2,000 just to remove the tree and pack it? Does that sound,
That sounds reasonable.
I'll make that, I'll
I
amend
I think that's reasonable for now.
Trying to take off on the asphalt now.
My concern is 2,000 isn't going to cover it.
it. Oh,
I mean, once they get into,
Give me a
rather,
num- give me
I
a
don't know,
number.
I don't, I really, I have no clue. I mean, they could come back and say it's 3 times that number, I don't know.
well, if they're only gonna grind the stump and we're gonna pack it,
Let's get this, we mentioned, or we commented that there's a number of trees we're gonna have to deal with.
Yep.
Let's start with this one, get it out, get it ground, pack it, and evaluate where we are from a repair standpoint, concrete repair standpoint. And then once we know this, as we move on to the next set of next tree, we'll have more data, we'll know more.
No. What I would suggest, I would bump it up, let's call it $2,500.
okay, I'll amend it.
And then if it turns out they come back and said it's going to exceed that $2,500 number, we won't proceed, we'll bring it back to the board for another vote.
Okay.
If it looks like it's going to be more than the 25.
I'll amend it to 25.
Okay.
And Marie, you need to make sure he understands not just the stump, but the limbs, the roots that are all visible on the ground need to be
Right.
shaved down to at least just below grade.
Yeah, right in the
Yeah,
turf
right in
area,
that
the
area.
turf area,
Yeah.
yeah. Or what used to be turf. So I amended it, I don't know if anybody wants to second the amendment.
I'll second the motion at $2,500 not to exceed.
Okay, all those in favor, signify, what's it?
So the motion is just for tree removal, no asphalt.
And grinding
Correct.
it down below grade.
Correct. And then I guess,
And backfilling it to grade level, and then,
Some dirt or mulch or.
Got it. Got it.
okay. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. All right, so let's get diversified in here and make sure they understand the full scope of work and requote if necessary.
And maybe ask them if they could do a little neater job writing up the quotes.
Yeah, exactly. What are they really going to do?
So
Instead of a scribbled.
Diversified, the gentleman is a wonderful man, but he's just an old-fashioned kind of guy. We're never gonna get anything other than what.
Well,
we get.
let's write up a scope for him
to sign.
and have him review it and get back to us and then sign it and say, okay, yep, I'm agreeing that's the scope that I will do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, let's see, next up is CRF 2026-0004 for replacement of the visitors' dugout benches at the softball field. So originally, this was presented at a workshop. What was in the packet at the workshop was the expanded metal plastic-coated benches. And we had asked for Softball Association to go back and review that with something that's not going to deteriorate like we've seen with like the picnic tables and whatever else that's with that expanded metal. And they've come back with aluminum benches. 6-foot aluminum benches. There's 3 different suppliers: Beacon Athletics, Built Right Bleachers, and Park Warehouse. And that information is in our packet. So there's also a so there's 3 would be required to do the visitor's dugout.
Okay.
So in our packet is also a proposal to, let's do both dugouts. So rather than just do the visitors, so that both dugouts are the same, purchase 6 rather than 3. So what's on our table to decide is, we're going to do just the 3, or we're going to do the 6, which vendor we're going to use, and what dollar amount we're going to approve.
Jeff, I thought the original idea was to move, that the ones in the home side of the field were okay.
That's what I thought, yeah.
I remember that discussion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're okay to continue using as is. They're not at the end of their useful life. So the plan, I think what Softball Association was planning on doing is taking the ones from the home fields, home team side, move them to the visitor side, and then put the new ones on the home team side.
That's what I thought I remembered.
Yes.
Was the discussion.
But as they were looking at it, because of shipping costs, there must be a minimum shipping cost, because whether you buy 3 benches or 6 benches, it looks like the quotes are the same shipping cost. So rather than paying shipping twice, if you spread it out, you save potentially around $500 of shipping cost.
But you don't, but
it's not at a point where they definitely need to be replaced at this point.
what are the ones right now on the home side? Are they aluminum? I thought they were.
No, they're the expanded metal ones, like
Metal,
the,
rubber,
Okay. With the rubber
coated.
coating?
yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
So looking at the different prices, so Beacon is at, for the 3 benches, Beacon is at $720 per bench. Built Right is at $531 per bench. And Park Warehouse is at $420 per bench. From looking at the website, the Built Right bleachers and the Park Warehouse bleachers, they look like they're identical units. So a little bit better pricing from Park Warehouse for the exact same unit. And their shipping cost was just over $500 for shipping, whether it's 3 or 6, same $500, and then tax. So with the Park Warehouse, it looks like right around $2,000 if we did the 3 benches, or $3,300 to do all 6 benches.
If we do the 6 benches, what happens to the ones that are still in pretty good shape? Do we save them, or do we get rid of them?
We would probably relocate them to wherever, replace any of the old ones in the community somewhere that need to be replaced, in the
So
activity.
my thought
I think
is,
Diane's pretty good at finding a place for them.
my thought is to go with the 6 benches, if we can use the other benches here and save the $500 in shipping. So that takes care of almost 1 bench. So, I mean, it's almost a no-brainer if we can use them benches somewhere else in the development.
Dog park.
I agree.
Okay, so you want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we go with the 6 benches
From Park Warehouse
from Park Warehouse. Yes, correct.
with a cost not to exceed
35.
$3,500?
Is that,
That included, well, shipping was free with 6, right? Or was?
Well, it's the
No,
same
still
shipping
same
cost.
price, same
It's
price.
approximately
Okay,
just
yeah.
over $500,
Yeah,
looks like,
so-
whether you're shipping 3 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
Russ, I'll go get them for that price.
George, come on up to the mic, please.
Did someone second that? No?
no, not yet.
I can second.
Clarification, because Jeff and I were discussing this morning. Park Warehouse apparently is in Delray Beach, Florida. I believe that's where the shipping location is also. The price was $420 for 3 each for 4. If we ordered 3 benches, it drops to $415 if we order more than 4, I think. The shipping on 3 benches, I just checked this morning, went through a fake order and got a quote. The shipping on 3 benches would be $700. So with the 40 with the 420 for 3 benches, that total would be 1960 for 3 benches shipped here. For 6 benches, the price per bench would be $415, and the shipping is $740 for a total of $3230. So $3,500 would cover an order from, should cover an order, at least a near-term order from Park Warehouse. I don't have shipping information on, from Built Right, but I asked for a quote this morning and hope to get it. But again, their price per bench is over $500, just slightly over $500.
So what you're saying is $3,500, take care of the 6 benches?
Should
plus
cover
shipping.
it, right. And our intent would be to repurpose at least 2 of the benches that are in the, if we get order of 6, repurpose 2 benches that are in the 2 expanded vinyl benches that are in the home dugout, get rid of the wooden bench that's in the visitors dugout, and put 6 new aluminum benches that more match the bleachers that we have. Be totally aluminum, wouldn't require any maintenance but occasional power washing, and go with that. And we can offer up, either use them at the softball field, use them up at anywhere else. They're similar to the green and tan ones that are out here. They're identical to the green and tan ones that are out here at the horseshoe pits and the shuffleboard.
Is the softball club installing them?
Excuse me?
Are you going to install them, the softball team?
We will assemble them and install them.
Thank
They're
you.
pretty much easy to assemble.
That'll save us maintenance for doing it. So we got a, do we get a second?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and I would add to that, Finance Committee has reviewed it, and it would be from one of 2 reserve accounts. There's either softball field bleachers or softball dugouts. So this would be a reserve spend.
All right, Jeff, I don't want to throw a monkey wrench in this. We should double check that reserve account, because I believe that reserve account for the bleachers and the dugouts is covering the structure only. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to be looking at roof replacement on the structures pretty soon. So, I believe.
Okay, we'll look at the wording.
I don't think it includes the contents.
When we set up the reserve account for, I understand what you're saying, the structure, but it should include anything associated with the dugout. So
Yeah, and
if
I'm
there's-
not sure it did when
Okay.
those were put in back a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Because it was a while after we put those structures up that they finally got into the reserve study.
No, we have a separate line item for bleachers in the reserve.
That's
I'm
what-
looking at it
Yeah, but
right now.
those are the visitor, or not the visitor, those are the,
That's the bleachers.
yeah, for the people that are coming to watch the game, not for the players.
Gotcha.
Right, there's a
Players
line
have
item
to
for the
stand?
bleachers and
No,
there's a line
it's-
item for the dugouts.
Okay,
But Russ, what I'm saying is I believe the line item in there and the pricing that's in there, the estimate pricing for reserves has to do with the structures, not the bleachers themselves.
When we just went through the new study, that question was raised, and it said it was comprehensive.
You thought it was?
No, well, they said it was, so.
All right.
I don't know what the new amount is.
Yeah,
but-
okay. Yeah, again, I'm not familiar with the new amount, but I just suspect that, we'll double check that because I suspect the amount that's in the current reserve study is only for the structures.
Okay,
We'll
All
look
right.
at it,
All
but
right, we'll take a look at
it's
it.
going to be, it'll come out of reserves.
It's
either
just a
way.
caution. Okay.
Either way, yeah.
Okay, so we have the motion on the table for $3,500 for the 6 benches. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously.
I'll work with Marie on getting that order.
Okay. Next up is the social committee sponsoring the fashion show.
heck I got going here?
Okay, gotta get to that page.
93.
All right, so Bill, do you want to have any comments concerning this?
Well, this has been, I think, on the last 3 agendas. And what was presented that was needed for Cook Together to do it, I believe they've done, short of last, or maybe it was the workshop. But that was about an inspection on the kitchen and possibly some training, but everything else they've done, they've completed.
Right.
So I don't know what more they can do to make this work.
Okay, so you want to make a motion then?
I'd like to make a motion to accept it.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay. Any discussion? No? Okay, with that, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Okay, what's going on here?
Now, we did check with Graham from First Service, and there was some conversation about using the RSO kitchen, and as long as it's limited to just residents, there was no issue whatsoever with it. So that was the one question we had at the workshop, and that's been resolved, so we're good to go.
Yep.
Thank you, Board. Okay, next up is replacement of the streaming camera that's underneath the clock over there up here in the Grand Hall. It's reached the end of its useful life. The servo motor that drives the pan, tilt, and zoom is crapping out, and it's kind of wandering around on its own. So this is a replacement of that streaming camera. So it's in our packet. Just over $1,200 is the quote to do that. So anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept it as written, $1,200.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Next up is the Finance Committee presenting Tracy Strickland for the new Finance Committee chairperson position.
I'll make a motion that we accept Tracy as the Finance Committee Chairperson.
Second.
Any discussion?
Thank you, Tracy, for stepping up. Hopefully we'll vote you in. She's back in the back.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate you stepping forward. And then the last item on our agenda is Lynn Grill for volunteering for the Health and Safety Committee.
I'll make a motion, we accept Lynn Grill as a volunteer for the Health and Safety Committee.
I second.
Any discussion?
My comment would be that she runs basically the Health and Safety Expo, so without her, we'd be in a world of hurt. And thank her for her service.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. All right. Thank you very much, Lynn. We appreciate you re-upping and volunteering for this committee. Next up, director input. We'll start over on my left here. Bill, anything from you?
No, I think I'm fine.
I'm good.
Dan?
Yes, I'd like to let the people know that we're going to need quite a bit of help with this when the roads are being resealed. As soon as Russ gets it together, and we'll work on that. But it's going to be a big undertaking. So we'd appreciate all the help we can get. Thank you.
Russ, do you have a ballpark idea when it might come down for the resealing project?
It's going to be July into August, I'm sure. But it's kind of what we had carved out. We'll know more in the next few days here.
Pretty much when it's been done in the past.
Yeah, we've always tried to do this in the summer
It was super hot.
for numerous reasons, and actually rain isn't a bad thing for it, you know,
Once it's down.
once it's down, so there just tends to be less traffic here in the summer.
Yeah. Okay. John?
Yeah, Marie, question. Living on a white fence that's turning green now, because that's what they do in the summer. I know in the past, maintenance generally, when they get around to it, I think they just spray them.
Yep. So they go around the whole community. So your side is probably the last area that they were doing, I think was over by the ballpark and the dog park and all of that area there. So they're coming your way.
Okay, just checking. I know people are gonna,
They spray, it's called spray and forget, something like that.
Wet and forget.
Wet and forget, thank
That all they spray
you.
with?
Yeah, and
it
so.
works.
That's what I put
Yeah.
on
It
That's
just,
right.
it's a constant with those oak trees. It's
Yep.
a constant problem.
Okay, Russ,
I'm good.
Steve?
Nothing further, thank you.
Okay, next meeting dates, our board workshop is going to be on June 25th at 9:30 a.m. And then our next regular board meeting is on July 9th, also at 9:30 a.m. With that, motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Okay, meeting is adjourned, and now I'll open up the floor for homeowner comments.
John Stanek, Lot 13. I talked to you folks during the workshop about the lighting problem and the automation. This is the box that was used. This actually is the one from the pool area that worked to light the pools and the area under the overhang. Somewhere along the line, that was replaced with photocells. The fault with this is that it's electronic, and if the power goes out, you have to reset the time, and as the days get longer or shorter, you have to reset it. With the photo eye, you didn't have to do that. Photo eyes are about $50 to replace. We've automated all that on the automation system now, and the cost for those Wi-Fi ready plugs for the automation ranges from about $300 to $500 per unit. Very susceptible to surges, and they have to have good communication to be able to connect to the Connect 4 brain. Since the board meeting, and since I'm not an electrical engineer, I'm a chemical, I reached out while I was out doing my chemical engineering job to different commercial contractors, last one being yesterday. And both of those contractors indicated to me that Connect 4 is basically a home automation system that could be converted to work in a commercial application like we have. But the big problem with it is, for example, to do a home, it averages about $10,000 to $15,000 to automate it. A large home can run from $15,000 to $80,000. I'm sure this is much bigger than a large home, so I don't know what we paid for the initial package, but I'm sure it's in the six figures. The Achilles heel of the Connect 4 is the communication between the brains of the system and the remote off and ons for whatever it is. And we've moved the Connect 4 into Kevin's office. We've moved it around to try to make it work better. And I understand there's a fix that's going to be installed at $11,000 somewhere in the hall to make it communicate and work better. However, I don't understand why we can't just go back to the photo eyes. They work. Right now, even if that Connect 4 was working, it comes on about an hour and a half before it needs to, and it stays on for about another hour. So in effect, we're paying for about 100 extra full nights of lighting. Now, for the last, it's going on 3 weeks now, the lighting has not worked under the pool area. So there's no lights at all. And I was instructed yesterday, as was other people on the First Services team, to turn the lights on when we leave. So that means from 5 o'clock on until nighttime, we're going to be paying electric bill for lights that aren't needed. Right now, in looking at some of the First Services accounts that where the lighting is affected, we've got automation in closets. We've got automation in the pool room for a fan that doesn't work. a question in my mind, are we throwing good money after bad? And are we hooking our cart to a horse that we really don't need? It appears from my observation that we're looking to get a single source electric contractor, which is fine. I had a lot of single source people when I was engineering manager. And normally when I had a single source, I got excellent quality work, very fair, preferred pricing, and I was put on priority when I needed them. And it's worth it if you can get that. It really is. But from what I see now, we bid these lights out and we gave it to that preferred electrical supplier who was the highest bidder. So it's not preferred pricing. The work that was done in the restaurant was much higher than other bids that we have, but we gave it to the preferred supplier. That supplier did the work in the restaurant. When it came time to do the inspection, the electrical contractor provided people here, and they sat and waited. The inspector, who's far from cordial, as I think we all know, was told not to show up by his boss, so he sat here waiting, and then he found out that his boss had canceled the inspection. The inspection was rescheduled. The inspector came and sat in the parking lot. Nobody from the electrical contractor showed up. She left. And even if she had gone in the building to check the rough out of the electrical work, she wouldn't have been able to, and she wouldn't have passed this because it was all closed in. So the rough work was opened up. The inspector came back in, inspected the work, and we failed. So we had to have the contractor come back in, and it must have been something substantial because they had people here for almost a whole day fixing what failed. So to make a bottom line is, what are we doing? I'm confused, and I don't understand why we have a preferred supplier that doesn't appear to be meeting the criteria of preferred pricing, quality work, and putting this as a priority. We have all the equipment sitting over there to do this modification for $11,000, and it's been sitting there for 3 weeks.
Errol Forsman, Lot 869. Just to tag on to what he just said, you know, the definition of idiocy is doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results. It sounds like that's what we're doing with this electric company. That's just that. The other thing, I don't know what happened with the rocks around the pool facility. When they put those in, anybody with common sense knows you put down landscaping material to keep the weeds from coming. It's already filling up with weeds. So are we gonna spend the money on weed killer? Not a good idea. And the money to have someone go in and kill it all the time? Why didn't we have it done right the first time? That's it.
Yeah. Normally, I have to agree with that. I mean, why would we put stone down without putting the underlay in?
The underlay is there.
The underlayer's there.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The underlay will not guarantee 100% that you won't get a weed. And we've gotten rain, and so they're responsible now for maintaining it, keeping the weeds out and all of that. It doesn't have to do with the underlayer, it has to do with their job.
Thank you.
Hi there, Kathy Meyer, Lot 447. I am on the board of the social committee. Are we going to adopt the new chartered club from First Service? What would be the benefit of it? And it seems to me that there would be a lot of detriment, because if you choose not to join the chartered club, your organization, whether it's the sewing group or whoever, after 6 months, you would be charged a fee for renting the room for a club you don't even earn money at? It's just a group to get together? And it's just, I hope that if we decide to talk about this, that you look at all the pros and cons, because in reading it, it looks like there are a lot more cons than pros.
Those are general guidelines that management company uses. They are not the guidelines that will be chosen or decided by the board for this community. There will be a process. It will come at workshop. There will be a discussion of the guidelines, and like everything else, everyone will have the opportunity to give input before anything is voted on by the board. Everyone is going to continue to do what they do right now throughout the year until the board has the opportunity to read, digest, and come up with a plan for this community that is based for this community. That document is only a guideline. It doesn't work for everyone or every community. I think it was given out because we wanted people to know what was going on, that we needed to make changes. But that's not a signed document. It has not been approved by our board or anything like that. Everything that happens in this community is discussed at a workshop where people have the opportunity, and then it goes to the board meeting where it's decided, voted on, and signed by the board if approved. So we're a long way from that right now.
Okay, okay. I just know as part of the social committee, we have a hard enough time getting volunteers and anything associated without adding more roadblocks in the way.
It's not designed for roadblocks, it's designed for limiting the liability to the HOA, but it's not designed for roadblocks, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Carol Steck, Lot 1006. This is just a request, and I guess it's actually for the management company. The resident packet for this meeting did, like, when it came to the covenant thing, there were 2 copies in there. Neither one of them were in edit mode, so I had no idea was one a revision for the other, and short of printing out 7 pages and comparing them side by side, line by line, had no idea what the 2 different items were. I know there was a mention at a prior meeting, and I think it was Bill Rodriguez who talked about, could the minutes include the items that were approved? And the answer was, well, not necessary because it's in the packet. Well, the residents don't have access to the board packet. The board seems to get updates the morning of the meeting, but those are never included for residents. So if I'm going back to see what was approved or what, residents don't really have an option to know, well, how do you get the information? So I would maybe ask that the board reconsider what they want in the final minutes. Thank you.
Okay, with that, thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.